When we think of the Roman Empire, we imagine powerful emperors, vast legions, and golden palaces. But behind the glory of Rome stood a different kind of army of architects, engineers, and builders. Their names are rarely remembered, yet their creations still stand 2,000 years later. Without them, Rome would never have been Rome. Today, we reveal the hidden architects who built an empire that refused to die. At its height, the Roman Empire stretched from the deserts of Egypt to the cold frontiers of Britain. More than 50 million people lived under its rule. But such a vast empire could not survive on armies and emperors alone. It required something far stronger: roads, aqueducts, bridges, temples, amphitheaters, and cities. It required visionaries who could design the skeleton of Rome. These were the hidden architects. Our story begins with Marcus Vitruvius Pallio, a military engineer who lived in the 1st century BCE. Vitruvius wrote the only surviving treatise on Roman architecture, De Architectura. For Vitruvius, architecture was not just about buildings, it was about harmony. He believed that great architecture should balance strength, functionality, and beauty. From his writings, Renaissance architects like Leonardo da Vinci drew inspiration. In fact, the famous Vitruvian Man is directly based on his work. Vitruvius may never have built the Colosseum himself, but his philosophy shaped the very foundations of Rome's monuments. If Vitruvius was the philosopher, the aqueduct builders were the magicians. In 312 BCE, Rome built its first aqueduct, the Aqua Appia. By the 3rd century CE, 11 aqueducts poured fresh water into the city, sustaining over 1 million residents. These hidden engineers solved impossible problems. They built underground channels, carved tunnels through mountains, and constructed massive arches across valleys. The Aqua Claudia alone stretched 45 miles, carrying pure water into the heart of Rome. Without aqueducts, there could be no baths, no fountains, no urban life. Rome would have remained just another city on the Tiber. But Rome's true genius was not marble or stone, it was concrete. Known as opus cementitium Roman concrete was stronger than anything the world had ever seen. Unlike modern concrete, it grew harder when exposed to seawater, which is why Roman harbors still survive today. With concrete, architects could build the impossible: towering amphitheaters, sprawling basilicas, and even the Pantheon. Its dome, built almost 1900 years ago, is still the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. No steel, no modern machines, just the genius of Roman architects and the labor of thousands. Yet behind every design stood the hands of the nameless. Slaves, artisans, and soldiers built the empire's monuments. The Colosseum alone required the labor of tens of thousands, including Jewish slaves brought to Rome after the siege of Jerusalem. In 70 CE, they worked in quarries, cutting massive stones. They hauled materials across dangerous terrain. They died in accidents that history never recorded. Without them, the emperor's visions would have remained dreams on parchment. They were Rome's invisible architects, some credited, forgotten, yet essential. Among the few architects whose name survived is Apollodorus of Damascus. He was Emperor Trajan, as chief engineer, and the mastermind behind some of Rome's most iconic works: Trajan's Forum, Trajan's Market, and the massive bridge across the Danube River. Trajan's Market, often called the world's first shopping mall, housed over 150 shops and offices. His forum was filled with grand colonnades, libraries, and Trajan's Column, a monument still standing in Rome today, telling the story of Rome's conquest of Dacia in spiraling stone relief. Apollodorus showed that architecture was more than utility, was propaganda. Every arch, every column, every plaza told Rome's citizens, this is the empire, eternal and unshakable. But Roman architecture was not just about size, it was about invention. The arch, perfected by the Romans, allowed them to build bridges and aqueducts that could withstand centuries. Hypocaust heating systems kept Roman baths warm, a luxury unmatched for centuries after Rome's fall. Amphitheaters like the Colosseum used retractable awnings to shade spectators, an engineering marvel even today. These were not just buildings. They were machines of civilization, designed to control nature and elevate human life. Rome's emperors have long turned to dust, but the hidden architects gave Rome something stronger than armies' immortality. The Pantheon still inspires awe. Roman aqueducts still stand tall across Europe. Roman roads still mark the skeleton of modern highways. Every stone whispers the same truth: greatness is never built by rulers alone. It is built by visionaries, engineers, and countless unnamed workers who transformed dreams into reality. So the next time you walk past a crumbling Roman ruin, remember it was not Caesar who laid the stones, nor Augustus who mixed the mortar. It was the hidden architects, men and women whose genius and labor carved eternity into stone. If you enjoyed uncovering this secret side of history, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more forgotten stories of the past, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which Roman monument do you think best represents the genius of its hidden architects? History remembers emperors, but today, we remembered the builders.